meeting started. I'll stand for pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We're going to have to be approved for the minutes of the September 5th meeting and the September 19th budget meetings. Do I have a motion to approve them?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Now, which one's which here?
The September 5th on top.
And that's the budget here? Okay. Getting those approved. Does our attorney have any business for us?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Robbie, let's see what happens later on in the meeting.
Okay. Dale, you ready to make the report?
Well,
Well, we'd like to know what's going on.
okay. We didn't do a whole lot today. We covered a few items in our meeting today. We approved two 144 requests today, one in our maintenance department, one in the 911 department, moving current part-time employees to fill full-time positions. We approved the closure on October 18th of the recorder's office, the assessor's office, and the auditor's office for training purposes for a new e-filing system. And we approved the purchase of a couple of new computer servers for the IT department. And we approved a 144 for Community Corrections Department, moving a part-timer to a full-time opening. And we signed and approved the final acceptance of the Bridge 90 project on Waterloo Road. So that project is now final, over and done with for good. So that's the end of that. We also approved a resolution and signed agreements with Union County Commissioners beginning the first of next year. The Union County Commissioners will be the Board of Authority over the local transportation services. And this is a effort on the part of the state to regionalize public transportation. And we are at ground zero. We're the first guinea pigs in the state. So they're going to learn from our mistakes, I guess, if there are any, and I hope there is none. My chief concern is that the level of service that we're able to provide through public transportation is not interrupted, and that we don't lose any funding. So we've been told and assured that's not going to happen. So I think eventually, other than Fayette and Union County, this district would involve Wayne County and possibly Franklin also. So this thing is kind of out of our hands. we're being forced to go along with this, so we'll just have to see how it goes. We took care of that paperwork today in preparation for what's to come next year.
It's kind of a regional program then, for combining counties to use the system. Where's that money coming from, Bill?
It's federal and state funded, Indiana Department of Transportation.
Okay, so it's really out of our hands.
Right.
Okay.
So if regionalization makes the program more efficient, more effective, fine. That's the goal, they tell us. So we'll just have to see how it works.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't think of anything worth mentioning.
Any more on the air handling units? Nothing on
No.
that yet?
No, have not heard anything. We did have a jail inspection recently that I haven't talked to the sheriff about, but I'm told that our most recent jail inspection was the best results in a long time. They had seen some marked improvements in the condition of our jail, and it's mainly due to the work provided by our own maintenance staff. Those guys have really done a good job, and it certainly was reflected in the jail inspection report that we got recently. But I haven't seen the report yet. I've just been told about it.
Okay.
Hopefully the sheriff will come over and tell us all about it pretty soon.
Okay. Okay, so we're still viable. Got some money left in the bank, right?
All right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Moving on, transfers, additional reductions. Detention, travel, and training expense. You want $1,500? They here tonight?
Okay.
Evening, everyone. Yes, I do have an additional appropriations for $1,500 for mileage and training that will get us through December. I was trying to figure out why we were running into this issue, and I figured in my 4 years I've been here, this is the first time we've had full office staff and no COVID. So, and a new educator, which requires a good 6 months travel for new educator training. So hopefully we won't have any of those issues next year, that we'll retain the employees that we have, and so we won't have to worry about new educator training and whatnot, but that is what that's for. We've calculated out what each of us should need through December of this year, and that's where that number comes from.
Was this in your budget last year?
It was not, so this is in addition to. I did ask for an increase for next year of a little bit, but this was not, we haven't had an increase since I started, no.
We're making a motion to approve the additional appropriation for general fund, account 30120, for $1,500.
Second.
And a motion and a second to approve it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it. Can I get a quick update from the office while I'm here?
Sure.
Okay, 4-H enrollment opened October 1st, and that will go through January 15th. We had 454 youth enrolled in 4-H last year. We're hoping with extra school visits and some extra flyers we're sending out this year that those numbers will increase again. We're really passionate about the 4-H program and what it can do for the youth of our community, leadership, citizenship, and just responsibility that we can help work with our youth and help just keep people here in our county and get excited about things in our county. We've got a couple of programs in conjunction with some community partners. With the schools, we're working with third graders on some financial literacy classes. We also have a partnership with Livestream and the Senior Center where we're doing Cooking for One classes. So we actually have a request for that class, which is how often things come to us for the community. We had a widow come into our office and ask if we could help him learn how to cook because he just didn't know. And so she partnered with the Senior Center, and she's had between 10 to 15 people at her classes, which not only provides them with some cooking lessons, but also a community of themselves, a friendship and other people that they can be with and have social engagements with. So we think that's a pretty good thing for our community. So other than that, that's just a quick rundown. So I just wanted to touch base and say hi.
How many members did you say have there? 454?
454 last year, and that included mini members, which is kindergarten through second grade, and then what we call traditional 4-H, which is 3rd through 12th grade. About 100 of those were the mini, the kindergarten through second graders.
That's great.
That's good numbers. We're excited. Hopefully we're aiming to get higher this year.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Good
all. Have a
job.
good meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Probation Department.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm back. Since the last time we spoke, Darian worked extremely hard and has been able to get all but one child out of juvenile detention. The last child is actually waiting on state approval to enter a treatment facility. So hopefully that'll be the next few weeks. He'll be able to be moved out of our paid detention into state paid treatment. But because of that, we are currently negative $7,710 on detention fees. And since the last time we spoke, the Delaware County Juvenile Detention Center has raised their rate. Effective October 1st, the rate went from $175 to $195. So we've had to start paying that for our child in detention. So I was coming today asking for an additional $25,000 that will hopefully get us through the end of the year. I was recently at a conference with other chiefs and was able to speak to them. This is not uncommon, which is what we hate to hear. Henry County actually has spent over $300,000 this year detaining juveniles, so we're on the low side from the people that got to speak, which is why they're so interested in reopening their juvenile center, because if they're going to spend the money, they may as well spend it on themselves and try to make a little money on their facility. I told them that my department would be extremely interested in using them, just on the overtime, you would say, that the deputies transporting. They implied to me that they're looking at doing transports again, which I know the sheriff's department would be great, and they wouldn't charge any extra for that. It would just be a part of the per diem. So if they are able to, I know it's still in its infancy, if they were able to get that open, I would highly recommend we try to get in with them, either through a small contract or just make sure they know we're interested, so that they would move forward with opening that facility. Potentially save us a lot of money over time. And then I also did have, Jamie, the number that was transferred.
2407.
Okay. I found $2,407 that was left over in our vehicle line that I would like to ask to be moved from that vehicle line into juvenile detention so that we can use that money to help pay for juveniles in detention.
What do you think the chances are that Henry County is going to do that opening?
Their chief seemed very optimistic. She's been working with their judge and their commissioners to kind of go through it. I know the state DOC had come in to inspect the building. It had been, I'm not sure how this has happened, but at one point it was owned by YOC. I don't know if YOC owned it outright and had bought it from Henry County or if they were leasing it, because it was a facility for female juveniles that involved, if they've been sexually abused or trafficked, they were doing treatment for them there, and then that shut down with COVID. And so it's been sitting empty. So basically they're wanting to do smaller renovations to make it a secure facility again and then start using it as a county facility. I hope they move quick on that because that's so much closer than Muncie, and getting kids back and forth to the board and everything else could really save the sheriff's department a lot over time.
And what facility the state's took the juveniles, you say?
Well, there's one kid, he's left at Delaware County Juvenile. He had a diagnostic evaluation. The YOC, which is actually on the same campus, has agreed to take him. But before they can, the state DCS rep has to look over the case, and then they have 30 working days to approve the placement. The cost of these placements are enormous. Some of them are over $900 a day for these kids to go to, so the state really looks over everything to make sure it's an appropriate placement. Darian's been working with our BCS consultant and trying to get that kind of pushed through as quickly as possible. He's supposed to have court in, I think, about 2 weeks, but I think that if we can get it approved, we might be able to do video court with that child and get the move faster.
But what facility, you said other kids were transferred?
Oh, they've gone all over. One went to prison, one went to, I think one's on an ankle bracelet right now. One went to Oaklawn, one went to, they went all different places all over the state that we're in now. We were waiting on a lot of diagnostic evaluations and a lot of residential treatment.
Are you aware of the facility down here in Lawrenceburg?
Do you know the name of it?
No, the judge heard about it the other day. Just ask the judge, he'll know.
Okay, I'll get with him on that. So I'm hoping this gets us through the end of the year. I know they're still investigating kids with guns. I saw photos myself just this past week of a juvenile in Offit's Park pointing a gun at the camera, pointing a gun at himself, taking pictures of down the barrel. There's clearly ammunition in the gun. Allegedly, a juvenile robbed an adult last week at gunpoint. So it's all being investigated. So I'm hoping this money will get us through the rest of the year and we'll have left over to get back to you. But if they start putting all these serious violent felony cases on these kids, we may have to do some more. But it's just something we are hoping to avoid. But sometimes it's a little out of our hands on if we have to and for how long.
How much input do you get from the parents on these?
How much input?
Yeah.
In what way?
Do they show up? Do they
Yeah.
care what's happening to their kids?
Yeah.
I mean, do they even have an answer?
They show up. Parenting would be a big part of this.
I'd say so.
In a perfect world, they'd be sitting in jail with their kids too, but most of the time it's older kids who are at a certain age. The court and everyone expects you to be able to, maintain yourself at a certain age. The apples don't fall far from trees is what I've learned over the years. It's a lot of learned behaviors, a lot of.
What ages are we looking at on this?
Hmm?
What ages are you looking at?
We've had them in detention as young as the facility will take us, 13. Their insurance won't cover anyone younger than that, just with the nature of what can happen with kids in there of all different ages and from different areas, all the way up to 17. After they hit 18, they age out and they go to jail.
Any questions? How much, Jane, you may not have information, but what was your budget last year?
60,000,
50,000?
60.
60.
Yeah. And last year we gave money back. That's why this is just so out of the for us. We usually get money back out of that detention budget, but it's a specific group of teenagers that have all decided that they want to play gangster and they want to steal guns and they trade guns for drugs and use them to rob people and break into cars and steal more guns. And I know we're missing a half a dozen. I'm working with Detective Wilson from the Connersville Police Department on some of these cases. I know they've shown photos to Darian trying to identify kids and we're not sure who they are. I don't know why kids insist on videotaping their crime sprees, but Snapchat is, I think, the devil. They literally film themselves shooting these guns in residential neighborhoods. They film themselves taking them and flashing them with guns and drugs and money and everything else. And it's just been a nightmare this year. And Darian, all the praise to her. She's a one-woman show, and she's really done her best to try to get on top of all this with the resources that she has. So, hoping for this to calm down and get back to a more normal caseload for her.
Anyone else have any comments, questions?
No, I'll make a motion to do the additional appropriation from 3062, or general fund 1,000 and account 30062 for 25,000.
Here's a motion, do I have a second?
2,400?
25,000.
You're doing the additional.
You
first.
doing, oh, you're gonna do both? I thought somebody said do them together.
Oh, what's the other one?
That's a transfer.
The transfer, the 2,400.
Oh, okay, and then also is the transfer for $2,407.
Second.
So you making a motion that you pay the 25,000 and approve the 2407 transfer?
Yes.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Mike second.
Mike?
I say that.
Okay. Okay. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Okay. Use it wisely.
We're going to do our best. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one from the emergency management, additional appropriation, $7,343.51.
Good evening.
Could you cut the 51 cents off?
If I have to pay that out of my pocket, I will. So I'm here tonight to request the additional appropriation of $27,343.51. We were awarded the $150,000 grant for a mobile incident command and response trailer. And last night, the city council approved unanimously to fund their portion of the match. So I'm here to request the same of the county council. And I'm open to any questions you might have, but I do want to make sure that we understand that if we don't fund this and we don't go forward with it, we run the risk of shutting off all FEMA and IDHS dollars from here on. And I can tell you that is accurate statement because I'm the one that scored the grants for IDHS and for FEMA. And we've already had 2 grants returned from Fayette County, one from my predecessor, and then one through a county for the state fire training grant. So both those grants were returned. So if we don't fund this grant and we have to return that funding, we'll likely never see another IDHS dollar.
Was the city's half of it?
Exactly the same amount.
Make a
So-
motion to approve.
The trailer is a $204,000 value, and we're getting in the county's portion for $27,000. So that's a good price.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve the funding in a second. Any more questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you very much. You guys will not be disappointed.
How many counties, surrounding counties have this system?
We will be the only one that has this.
That's what I thought. Nice. Nice work.
Yeah, and it'll be a huge asset to this
So
county.
Fayette County's gonna be,
Yes.
no, good job.
Thank you. Also, I wanted to brief you all. So to this point, 10 months into my position, I've saved the county $180,500 in grant funding, counting this grant award. With the grants that I've already applied for that have not been awarded yet, for the remainder of the year, if I'm awarded those, the total dollar amount will be $251,000. And one of those grants, which is the EMPG salary, for my salary, it's $18,000. I just got approval from the commissioners today to apply for that grant. And those are usually pretty much a done deal. FEMA gives the state DHS money to fund salaries for EMA directors. So they pretty much give that money right on through. It's like similar to a pass-through. So,
Is there any monies available for the repeater tower?
say again?
Is there any monies available for the repeater tower? I think it's pretty well, it's needed.
Yeah, we need repeaters in southwestern Fayette County and also some near Everton. And I think we need one in north.
Is there any monies
Fayette County.
available for that?
Not right now. The radio grants that we applied for, DHS pretty much shut everybody's grant down. I've talked to Ripley, Union, Franklin County. All of those counties also applied for radio grants, and they were all turned down pretty much categorically no. And I reached out to IPSC to figure out why that was the case. And because they're short lifespan equipment, radios are, FEMA or Homeland Security doesn't feel like they need to buy radios for first responders right now. So
This grant, how long is it good for, a year?
the trailer grant,
Or these grants you're looking at, you're getting what have you?
yeah, most of the grants, the salary grant is good for a year. So I was awarded the $18,000 for FY22, which covered Adrian's last year of employment. This one will be FY23, which will cover this year.
Okay,
So
then you had,
Did he apply for the grant last year, would have been 2 years ago?
yes,
Would he have applied for it? Did he apply for the?
Adrian, he did not apply for it. I applied for him and asked, I called DHS and asked if they would honor it if I went ahead and applied, and they did.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
Yep. Any questions on anything? I will tell you that we're partnering kind of with the Department of Health to host a basic radiation response for first responders. It's going to be held at the Miller Building on November 15th at 9 a.m. to noon. If you want to know a little bit about radiation response, I'd encourage you to come watch the training. Thanks.
Thank you.
When you take delivery of the trailer,
I've got to order it first. So this is going to be all throughout 2024, getting stuff squared away and ordered. So hopefully close to the end of next year, we'll have it in our possession.
okay. Additional appropriation request for the bituminous highway fund.
Good evening.
Hi.
We put this together to try to even the funds out, because our 1173 fund is way down lower than our 1176 fund is, and they're supposed to be 50-50 on each side. And if we do this and we put this in bituminous, we can pay for the hot mix and oil we use there at the end. And that'll leave us money in 1169 in case we get our community crossings come through, we'll have match money for that. But it's just trying to even our funds out so the state won't raise cane loads.
None of this is county general, is it?
It's motor vehicle highway.
Taking right, okay. Okay. Well, if you travel the road, you know the only help they can get.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
motion to approve.
Second.
You have a motion seconded to approve the funding. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. We're going to take care of the next one. Jail fund.
This is a transfer.
This is a transfer of funds.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Shirk.
Thank you. I do have a couple of papers I want to pass out just to refresh everybody on our funding that we are going to be receiving.
I just want to say a few words before we get started. I want to thank you all for allowing us to come in tonight. As you know, Fayette County hasn't had a good history when it comes to public health. We ranked in the lowest 91, 92 out of 92 counties as far as health goes. And I'm here to say, you kind of get what you pay for. Our budget is probably below any of the surrounding counties. And with the pandemic, we realized how important public health is. And Amy Full was my nurse in private practice, and when I retired, she came with me to the health department. And we made a lot of changes, and there was, I promoted Matt to the department administrator, and things have gotten a lot better. The morale is high. We've had good luck getting part-time help, but Amy just turned in her resignation, and I thought, oh man, we're not paying enough. And I started looking into it, and we are probably the least funded health department of our size in the state. So the day-to-day operation I leave up to Matt, and he he's here to tell you tonight a little bit about the monies, and hopefully we can get something that'll be more sustainable.
Yeah, I think you're all aware of the Governor's Public Health Commission and the funding that we're going to be receiving. The budget form is a budget form that the state required me to submit. And this is funding that basically how I set up the funding with the state for 2024. This funding will set up to cover 6 months. So on top of our regular budget that you guys do for us next year, we're going to get this $280,000 that the state's going to be supplying us for funding. I moved that around for salary, benefits, personal service or personnel, and basically so on top of our regular budget, this is how much money we're going to be getting next year from the state. In 2025, you've probably all seen this paper before, the state is going to be sending us a minimum of $544,000. So that's our budget increases for 2025. So then basically, so I'm just supplying that for information to let you know what kind of funds we are going to be receiving. As Dr. White stated, I can't replace our health nurse at our current salary. It's basically a hire. We were fortunate to have Amy come in because Amy was already an employee of Dr. White, and Dr. White retired.
Ma'am, what's her current salary?
My current salary?
No, her current salary.
The starting salary is, I think $38,000.
How much?
$38,000.
Yeah.
So,
And she's an RN.
right,
Amy is.
right. You know, I did some rough searches on the internet, other counties, and most places are starting out with nurses around 50,000. So I know we're way off there.
Now you comparing like similar sized counties, you know, like Allen County and.
Yes, I'm doing Tipton, Henry, Rush County. I mean, the salary for a nurse at Rush County is $49,000. So, I mean, that's smaller counties. Wayne County, I didn't see their nurses' salaries, their environmental specialist salaries, which is, we've always paid the same. They've got at $54,000.
What's a non-government, the private sector, what would their typical penalty be substantially more?
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's $15,000, and they're all offered $10,000 to $15,000 sign-in bonuses. I mean, it's hard to compete.
I was talking to one before I came, and he was making 70-some thousand. RN.
Yeah. So we have a unique opportunity here to increase salaries at the health department, and it's not going to cost the county anymore because of the new funding source. And my goal as administrator of the health department is to continue to improve the health of the county and its citizens. And having a strong health department is the best way to do that. We can continue to provide services to the community that are needed and necessary. But like I said, the health nurse position definitely needs improved, but I'm going to fight for that salary. I'm also going to fight for everybody else in the health department needs to improve.
How much were you wanting to get for the health nurse?
I didn't set
What are you thinking in your head?
Are they competitive to some counties?
I mean, definitely in the 50s.
At least 10,000
Yeah.
nerves, and we're not going to get any,
Yeah.
they'll stay.
Right.
They're getting this in addition to add to your budget, is that what you're saying? I heard you correctly?
Yes. This
So is that number on the front side here, there's a big black spot? I see a $229,000 figure, what is that? Is that what you were talking about? 280?
The 229 is. $229 is is not the right amount. I'm trying to see where the total funding amount is.
That's what I was wondering, because
They break it out between 60 and 100% on core services. For some reason, this budget didn't get it all budgeted. So it's 229 plus the 28,000 looks like.
that's what I was wondering.
So it should add up to 283,000. So this budget was a work in progress. Looks like I printed it out without having it completely balanced for the state. But it's 283,000 for next year that the state is supplying us.
Now we'll go on for,
Yes, 282,000 next year, and the reason it's 282 is because it's for 6 months. The following year, it's going to be 544,000 at a minimum. And at this time, it will be a little higher than that. So I anticipate it actually being a little bit higher.
nice that they had a fund like up for 911.
Yeah.
But, I mean, just Tipton County Health Nurses, 48,000. Henry County, 50,000, 51,000. Rush County, 49,000. Wayne County, 53,000 for environmental. So, I mean,
How many nurses are you talking about?
I currently have 3 nurses full-time.
Making how much a year?
38, or 30,
37 to 30.
37?
Well, the starting pay right now, 37 to 30.
37 to 30.
So you're looking for another $39,000 to $40,000 to get them up to 50,000?
Yeah, I mean, I do think there should be distinction between the health nurse and the other nurses, so the health nurse that would be in charge.
Yeah. Are the other 2 RNs as well?
No. They can be an RN or an LPN. Or,
What are they now?
I believe one's an LPN, one's an RN.
I don't have an issue giving the health nurse more money,
No,
especially if
that's-
it's coming out of your
And
grant
that's
money.
funded, yeah, your grant's
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
So
Like I
Jane,
said,
how do we do it, if we're getting this, it's supposed to figure it out in the budget process? You know, we don't approve the salary ordinance until like December.
Right.
So we just have to make a change to the salary ordinance before we,
If he wants it now so he can hire somebody, we just amend last year's starting
Okay.
salary.
I would like to, I am here for the whole department, including myself. So.
you got wings to.
That's not a money-making project. It's a long-term project, so I have a.
We didn't get free wings tonight, so you're not.
So,
The kids go there
are
now.
you a nurse?
Myself, no.
Okay.
I am, I have a bachelor's of science degree, and I've worked at the health department since 1994 as an environmental specialist, and then 3 years ago as administrator. I became administrator / environmental specialist, so I've still there 2 jobs. And the administrator position is a new one for the health department here, but it's common now throughout the state that most health departments are hired administrators. And my position, I would also like to reflect the fact that I'm an administrator. Rush County just offered an administrator position for $55,000 for a person that never done it before.
What are you making? I don't have it in front of me, I don't think.
44, 43. Wayne County Director is 66,000. Shelby County's Director is 74,000. And I just did a quick search of just a few, and so
Shelby was how much?
74.
And what was Rush?
They offered somebody 55, and they didn't take the job. They said no, they wouldn't. So.
I'm going to make a proposal here, and I don't know how well it'll go over, but I'll give it a shot anyway. I understand with the new system of funding, and clearly since the pandemic, the market has substantially increased for what people are paid for that kind of role. And but to kind of do this on the fly tonight is probably not something we should do. But what I would recommend is that we take your
my goal would be for when you do set salary.
Okay, well,
I'm
good.
not necessarily looking for just, hey, right now we're gonna increase everybody's salary, but I would
Right.
like, it,
There needs to be discussion.
yeah, I like discussion, and I wanted to get it started before it was too late.
Okay.
Knowing, not knowing exactly what you know about the new funding that we're gonna receive
Yeah.
and how that's gonna work, and like I said, it's important.
Councilman Stewart, my recommendation would be that we take this under advisement and let the Salary and Wage Committee look at this over the next 30 days or so, and then come back to us in November with a recommendation.
I want to add to that, maybe Pat, you could come up with a suggestion list, an outline of what you're thinking, the numbers you're thinking.
Sure.
And that, I mean, I'd pass that along to our
I
Salary
can
and
do a
Wage
lot more
Committee.
research as well.
Just remember to try to make sure you're comparing apples to apples and not.
Yeah.
And, you know, one,
That's why I try to stay in our district.
there's a book that's available.
Yeah,
That,
she has
that
one.
Jane has one. I had one from 2021, so it's a little outdated.
Those salaries that I was quoted was 2021.
Okay, well,
So, yeah, they are.
but they were different counties than the ones I would look at, okay? And I looked at my 2021 book, and back then, we were a little low, but we weren't out of kilter. I do suspect now that we'd be out of kilter, but I think we need to kind of take a look at it. all
Those
right?
numbers that I were quoting from counties around, areas around us.
You can look at Gateway too, you know. You can look through Gateway.
Well, then we,
Like I said, I just want to get the ball rolling.
Now, your nurses and your salary would go through the grants, correct?
No, the grants are going to go away.
Grants are new, so they will be, I mean, it'll be, the grants will pay, in addition, they can be used for anybody and everybody's salary. So on top of the regular county budget, there will be additional funds coming in.
Work up a draft of what you think and give to Salary and Wage Committee.
Okay. And so who's our contact for the salary?
It's Mike and Sharon and who else?
And Wolf.
And Wolf.
Yeah, I would be interested in seeing that for sure.
Okay.
Pardon?
let's say we can pull that information ourselves too.
Okay.
Where you, I think the important thing for me is where do you want to be, for these proposed raises?
Right.
It's like grant time or budget time.
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, the main thing is like I said, we have the funding, we need to use it. I've been dealing with this for the last few years with some other grants and stuff that we have actually funding and money sitting in some grants that we aren't even using because it's not appropriated. So I'm going to use that for the good of the community and use those funds to not only help salaries of the health department, but help get the right employees there. It's going to continue.
Think Amy'd come back? You think Amy'd come back?
Who chairs the grant, the wage and salary committee?
There was no chair. Yes, who chaired the Salary and Wage Committee? They've never met.
Whoever Bob wants.
At the last one that I was at, it was just me and Jim. I don't think he was there.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's what I wanted to come to see before salary and wages were set.
Right.
What would
Yeah.
be the best
Yeah, we know
option for
who.
me.
They're asking who would chair it. Like who you want to put in charge of setting up the meetings and stuff.
Mike, you want to hit the
It's up to
committee?
them to, let them make that decision if they want that or not. I don't care. It's, I'd rather have those that are serving on prior to me arriving here make that call.
So Jim or Sharon. Jim or Sharon then.
Okay. Well, Jim,
Say if they want me to, I will, but I want them to, I want their blessing. I don't want to just persona non grata.
Jim, you
So
want to take
Jim or
care of
Sharon,
it?
Jim or Sharon, you guys
Want
want
to
to
take
head
care
it
of
up?
it?
us three?
Yeah, well, I mean,
We
do
need-
you want to
we need a
lead,
point
get the
person.
meetings?
Yeah.
You'll do it? All right, Jim will do it.
That way I don't have to go to work.
I can add one more thing. You know, it seems like there's a little confusion about Governor's Commission on Public Health, all that funding and how it adds to what the county also provides. But we have a meeting on October 25th. I go twice a year to the, it's called the Local Public Health Leadership Symposium. Now, it's open to everybody involved in county commissioners and the health department. And I'd like to invite any of you to go to that if you'd like to attend. It's an all-day seminar that I usually leave after lunch because the afternoons are a little dry. But the morning part, they will give us an update on the funding, how it's going. You know, sometimes I hear all this money that's coming. I want to show me the money, you know. And I do believe everything is going to happen, and it's going to take a lot more. We have core. They have like 6 different areas that we have to focus on with that funding. And if you don't, well, you know, it's not like you have to make major improvements, but you have to address those 6 areas and show them, I guess, what they call deliverables, if you want that grant to be sustainable. And but again, I really appreciate and thank the commissioners and the council for voting to opt into that program. I think it's a win-win for everybody. It's going to pay off. Hopefully, with that funding and what you guys decide, we can get a little more competitive getting someone in the department that will stick around. Bless her heart, Amy did a wonderful job during the pandemic. It was almost overwhelming. I would have hated to be in her shoes. But she, after it's all settled down now, you know, she's seeing what the offers are out there, and she can almost double her salary where she's going to go.
So if she had a pay raise, would she stay?
She's told me she would.
Because Amy's great.
I know.
Amy's great. I
know. She's
great.
passionate about it. She wasn't in it for the money, but she's got a little bit for the effort. And it's gotten more complex as the, you know, I think the whole state realized how far behind the 8 ball we were and how far behind. And Governor Holcomb got together with a bunch of representatives of all levels of health, public health, and they came up with this funding mechanism, which is, I'll believe it when I see it, but I think it's really going to happen.
But yeah, the position has changed in favor.
So when will you get a hard yes on this?
I'm sorry?
When will you find out for sure that this is going to happen? So what I hate to do is to put this in place.
Already has.
It already has.
Okay, all right.
But I'm not a business person, but I just know that it's
went through legislation.
Yeah, it did. It got passed by the state for sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure that we weren't.
Yeah, it was a long drawn out legislative effort that they went through over the last 2 years, and I think it's going to help. You know, other states, you know, if you look at Hawaii and Minnesota and Colorado, they're spending $30, $40 per capita on public health, and Indiana was spending like $1.25, and they're going to up the ante a little bit. And I hope in our county we get at least $15 per capita per year.
So Dr. White, I don't know if you may not even have an answer to this, but has there ever been any discussion, have you overheard any discussion about like EMS and 911, because that is also affected by COVID and so forth, and what they get, EMS gets back in their payables, they're able to retrieve. Have you ever heard any talk about the state looking into that, helping out?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Well, need to get you involved in that maybe then. Kick him in the butt.
Yeah, we're sticking to help on our aspect of what we know. So. But yeah, like as I was saying, the physician has gone from being the health nurse overseeing herself to someone that oversees the staff. Up to 6, 7 nurses now. So
we're going to have to delegate certain individuals in these areas that need to be addressed. You know, infant mortality, the addiction problem, the smoking, and you know, but they can be grouped. But you know, it can't be one person doing all that. So that's where our public health nurse will be the supervisor of all that.
The health department has always consisted of an environmental section and a nursing section. So I'm still going over. I'm overseeing both departments, but so the nursing and environmental section and the vital record section. So we basically have 3 different sections in the health department. So.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, and I'll continue to gather some more information and then give it the salary budget committee. And if you have questions for me, please come by the health department, see me, and then I'll also put some information together and try to reach out, email.
I'll send you all a link to that symposium. it's really
I'm
good.
gonna see that AIC fact book by my office tomorrow. That AIC fact book's got a lot.
Okay. that'll be
Thank you,
helpful.
Dr.
It's
White.
got grouped in population and stuff, so it's easy to see all the, similar.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Then I'll be back next month, because I also have additional appropriation.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. But hey, it's for, it'll be for vaccines, so we now have to purchase the COVID vaccines that we're giving out. So we need a little additional funding to purchase it, but yet we're charging for them, so we're making money on
Oh, good.
it. All right. Thanks, guys.
You been here all month?
Yeah.
I'm not on this.
I wondered how that did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have to stay.
Yeah,
I'm just here for the 144, filling a vacant full-time spot in 911. But Dale Strong had tried to give his report and said that I came for commissioners today. I have a vacant full-time position and I'm filling it from within with a part-time person, Malia. Her starting time would be October the 9th, full-time.
I'll make a motion to approve the 144 for Kelly.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded to accept it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
We have no old business, no new business.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye, otherwise we stay all night. Okay.
Nay. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye.
are we off camera?